travel across the galaxy, going the speed of light, and incredibly skin-tight bodysuits with really sensible haircuts. But also like a lot of us, and what all of you will find out is over the long term, skin-tight bodysuits are a terrible idea. But the sensible haircut. Now, the sensible haircut is something that everybody can get behind, because it's something that's available now, right? So let's think about, what is exactly the sensible haircut, right? It's got to be fast. Everything's faster in the future. Moore's law, things are happening. It's got to be inexpensive. It's got to be reasonably socially acceptable, right? You can't have Mr. Spock coming onto the bridge and everybody laughs because his hair looks like shit. But where are we going to find this future? It's the same place we find everything awesome. TV. Right, specifically the same place you can find the Ronco, pocket fisherman, or an egg that you can cook in its own shell in the microwave, or any host of a number of things you see on late night TV. Specifically, the floaty. Now, if you're not familiar with the floaty, it's this awesome thing, right? So at one end of the floaty is it's a trimmer, and there's this sort of like long tube-like thing that you attach, and then at the other end of the floaty is a vacuum cleaner, and what it's doing is it's sucking. It's pulling all your hair out as you cut it. Like, it's amazing. It's a thing from the future. Because it's clean, right? Everything in the future has got to be clean. It's got to be awesome. So it's doing all these things for you. And because it's the future, there's got to be a lot of choice, right? You can't just have one haircut. So it's got all these little attachments that you can kind of stick on the end. And, so you've got different settings. So you get the Mr. Spock or the Captain Kirk. Lots of different choices. Choice is important in the future. Boy, I'm really behind. It's like I'm watching this, but this is one behind. So this is the choice that I was just referring to. You have a selection of things that you're looking at. These are little attachments. While I wait for the next slide, these are the little attachments that you can get. So you've got straight, different links. Now the problem with the floaty, as you're seeing now, is it definitely involves time travel. But the thing is, we just don't know what direction. Because, are you going to be in the future, or are you going to be in a 70s porno movie? You can have Mr. Spock walking onto the bridge and like, it's grand. That's not what you want. So, as you're thinking about it, it's a really serious consideration. So, as I was thinking about how committed am I to the future of hair, I came up with, being a geek, I had to come up with a logical framework. So this is what I call the dignity-utility trade-off. And what this shows you is along the y-axis here is the level of dignity that you're willing to accept. And then along the bottom is utility, right? That's the kind of, how much you're going to get. And utility doesn't have to be just a simple measure, right? It can be complicated. It can be multi-factor. You factor in cost, how fast it is, how convenient, the minimum level of hassle you're willing to accept. And, obviously, as you start thinking about this, you can plot a function of your own dignity-utility trade-off. So at each point here, we can see this is my level of utility. Here's the amount of dignity that I'm willing to trade off to get that for the haircut of the future, for the sort of awesome sorts of future that's possible. But you really have to factor in what's your minimal acceptable dignity, right? You don't want to go below that, right? You don't want to be a streaker, for example. That's one of my minimum points with streaking. So as you start plotting this, I was able to plot very precisely the level of dignity that I was willing to trade for my floating haircut, which is basically avoiding the hassle of parking in Harvard Square to go to the barber. So once you've exactly positioned this level of acceptable dignity, you can really make a wise and really rational choice. And so my confession to all you people here at boot camp, all my boot camp friends, who are all under FriendDA, by the way, even though it's kind of blown out of the water by live streaming, is that I haven't been to the barber in 4 years. We walk among you. We do. We walk among you from the future. And I can tell you it's awesome, because I floated my haircut before I came to boot camp. It rocks. I had a flight once, I landed, I went home, I cut my hair, I got on the next flight, out I went. It was great. It's so super. And some people might say, well, that's not really for me. Ladies, particularly you. You think it's all geeks, it's all Mr. Spock. No, they have attachment for you as well. This woman looks extremely happy with her floating haircut. I'm sure she's having an awesome experience, just like everybody else. So as you're thinking about the future of technology and the future of how we're going to move the world forward, I just ask you to think about your own hair, because the future is here. It's just not really evenly distributed yet. Okay?